amount of time, like just practicing, it kind of makes you dizzy at first, to be honest, because it actually sounds like you're in an empty club. Like it really does. It's really weird, but I knew it was something I wanted to do because I kind of rationalized it like this. I had Amphions too, like 118s. Is that right? 118s? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bag. That's a bag and a half. And in my head, anecdotally, I knew that the issues in my 110 square foot spare bedroom that, will cause problems against the Amphions with sonar works, with as much treatment as I could mount on the walls and ceiling and all this stuff. I'm going to have no more issues on these guys than I do in the small space. And kind of based on that hype, I was like, why don't I just get them and try them out? I could turn them if I hate them. But I have a feeling if I stick it out through what everybody said was an awkward phase of like sitting on your bed and sounding like you're sitting in a studio, which is very weird. I had to like close my eyes, turn them on, visualize I'm in that studio, reopen my eyes, and then I could get into the zone. Like I had to like do all these mind tricks. Now I can just flip them on. I don't give a shit. I'm used to it. I was like, I'll change rooms. But I knew it could literally unlock like location independence, which is, it's a rare time in my life when I can take advantage of that with Michelle and our cat and be pretty nimble. So not only that, but, getting to make records in different cities and cut tracks and meet people. Like, I have artists on TikTok that I met that we're going to try to meet up here in Austin, before we go. And then I have somebody who wants to do an album in Virginia in March, the Brooklyn album in May. I have artists in the UK who want me to come nearby them to get a sub $100 flight, so they can come through cheaply. It's just opened up so much cool stuff. Being able to meet these people and like touch them, just like, oh, you're real. I knew all that was possible. So I just had to push through this. So it was more just the mindset rationale to rationalize the decision with like, is that tiny bedroom with all the treatment in the world, is that going to be great? Or should I just pop on these cans and be able to go wherever the hell I want and figure out maybe how to work with them if I have to. And
why the VSX and not like, I don't know, the Audeze LCDXs or one of those other fancy headphones?
I knew about the Audeze. Yeah, Audeze?
I'm not sure if it's Audeze or Audeze. Okay. I'm not sure.
That one.
I mean, I had Chris Graham on the show, and he has a sponsorship with them, and I think he pronounced them Audeze, but I'll have to go back and listen.
Oh, whoops. Okay. That probably makes more sense. Anyways, instead of Audeze, that sounds worse than Audeze. Okay.
Yeah, but it could be either. I don't know. I'm sure the people at Audeze, don't care as long as we're giving them a shout out. Either way, people will figure out how to spell
it. Honestly, it's one of those things. I hadn't tried any of them, so I was taking a shot in the dark. Regardless, the only reason is the brand. Straight up, I have no idea which technology is better. I didn't even read the sales page. I didn't. I know I like the company, and then I said, okay, I like their products. I trust that this one is also good, so I will go buy it, and then I purchased it. That's it. I don't know, man. Yeah, very simple.
I mean, I got the VMS, so right behind me.
You won't be able to see it, but it's here.
Yeah, no, Slate's amazing. Yeah, I'm curious about it. I guess I don't know why. I guess I'm a bit more skeptical about the technology of the VSX than I would be skeptical of, say, like the ML1, because I don't know. This whole, maybe I'm just I'm too timid about this, but I'm like, I don't know, this whole like Dolby Atmos thing with the spatial audio and all these like weird things. I just don't know how I feel about these things. I guess I'm a skeptic about all of this stuff. Like, what's good old stereo? It sounds tight. Like, what's wrong with stereo?
Yeah, you know what? I'm guessing this is what they said when stereo came out. What about good old mono? Like it all comes out of the speaker. What do we need two for?
Right, yeah.
Just go, you're going to put the bass on the right? That's stupid. And then here we are. It's so funny, actually. Somebody commented that's the exact same thing about Atmos. And I said the same thing. I said to you, I was like, it's got to be people who are like, are you kidding me? Two of them? We just got the speaker right there. I don't know why I'm going Italian for this.
Yeah, but it makes sense, because we got two ears. Stereo makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but why do you need to separate
what I
them?
mean?
You
Like-
could just hear them both on the, it's no different than the experience of hearing it up the middle.
Yeah, but there are some things that still go up the middle really nicely. Like everybody wants the kick and the bass and
Yeah.
up the middle. You know what I mean?
No, I meant if I was trying to say like why mono was still fine. It's like, yeah, we have two ears, but you play it out of the speaker and then it hits your two ears. You're hearing
Right,
the song, the band, you hear the band. I don't know. People would, I'm not very good at being elitist, so it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just not. I'm not sure. I'm interested in hearing a guitar behind me or in front of me the same way I'm interested in hearing it pan. To the right
I
or the
got
left,
to
you know what I
sit
mean?
in one of the first Atmos mix rooms in LA when my time with Warren Hewart and his stuff, and that shit's wild. It like hearing Ocean Eyes by Billie Eilish in Atmos. Oh Jesus, it's really
good.
cool. Like I think at the end of the day, there'll be
Oh, I love the first hand.
there'll be a lot of
experience.
novelty of it. Like I heard some. I mean, it was a bunch of they did a bunch of different stuff. So I can't say all of them were great. It's gonna how like there's a bunch of Beatles songs.
a new
when
format.
they just hard pan shit and it was just annoying. It's just like this
Yeah.
just sounds disconnected. Like I can't like this. I can't even listen to this song.
Well, back then the mono mixes were everything, right? Like back when those early stereo mixes of the Beatles were. Nobody listened to the stereo mixes in the 60s,
yeah. So and I think it's gonna be the same way.
Those were like afterthought. It was afterthought mixes, kind of exactly. Like
They just
you're
took
saying.
the stuff and panned them and like, look, it's stereo. That's cool. So some of the songs that worked that way, I found it was more the band oriented stuff had that because it was like, why is the reverb splash of the snare coming from behind me? I don't know. It felt very, we're making an Atmos demo. So let's Atmos some things. But with stuff that's more modern, where there's a lot of sounds that aren't like the band, it worked a lot better because you could easily just place a pad kind of above your head and it just felt cool. I just didn't feel like a novelty, like, here's a riff. And it's just like flying all over my head. And it's like, I feel like I'm on a roller coaster and there's like a,
That's distracting.
it's
not
but
music.
like I felt immersed in a really cool way with more modern production because we aren't limited by perceiving it as a band, as like 7 guys, 10 guys playing a part. It was you could kind of put anything anywhere.
No,
So
totally.
I think it's just gonna take.
I have no doubt that
because it's a lot of tech.
I have no doubt that Atmos sounds amazing, and I absolutely see a space for it in like movies and VR and stuff. But I guess I'm more concerned about the fold down into spatial audio and just stereo, and I'm not convinced that's better than stereo. You know what I mean? Like that faux stuff, and that's what people are going to be listening to. People are using headphones, they're using AirPod Pros, they're using Beats, whatever people are listening to music on. I'm not sure that's a cut above stereo. In a sense of like what music producers need to be thinking about.
Maybe the answer.
Obviously.
Oh no, you say your words first.
No, that's it. Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say maybe the answer is because I don't know how many audio tracks it requires. I just like listened to it. I don't know. I just experienced it once, and maybe the answer is like then it's 2 sets of audio files, like one for as hard drives get, as you can have like a 0.5 terabyte on your phone. That invites the ability to and data streaming gets easier. Like maybe you hit Spotify and then, you're on a stereo device. I'm going to give you the stereo version. I hit it and it's like, you're in the car with the Atmos. It gives you the 10 channels or whatever for the Atmos cut. Like, or if you download it, it comes with all of them and then it plays based on, I'm sure that's a shit show for everything on the back end and it'll take forever and be terrible.
I'm sure that's what I'm sure that they're
but I know,
on that. Yeah.
Because you can upload to DistroKid in Atmos now. You can add an Atmos mix. Separate to it, so it'll happen. It's like trying to get rid of like the USB port. It's like takes time.
Right.
But,
interesting. Okay, cool. So you're on team. This is going to happen.
I'm on team. This is going to happen,
and,
but I'm not doing a damn thing right now about it.
Cool. I respect the hell out of that. Anyways, but the VSX sounds super dope. Speaking of spatial audio, So I'm curious and skeptical, and maybe I should just try it out sometime.
Or buy all of them and return the ones you don't want to keep. Like, just tell your person that, like, yo, I'm curious, but like, can I get the top 3 and then I return 2 of them or something? Like, I'm just telling you straight up, I'm going to do it, but I need to be able to compare because of quality. I don't think they'll be pissed.
Yeah. In terms of like your productions, would you say that you have like a trademark sound? Do you have something that you find that you're doing time and again that feels uniquely John McLucas?
I think I'm becoming. I didn't mean to, but I got to get told about it quite a bit. Is the way that I put grooves together, like how my drum work feels. Like, I mean, as a drummer, 16 years, but your ass, I care how that groove feels. I put like the most care and attention into the drums and the vocals by far. Not that the other stuff doesn't matter, but I feel like when it bumps and you're feeling it, that's most of the battle. Like, I could swap out a few synths for a few different synths and you'd be like, great song. But then if I switch up the drum sound, you're like, oh my God. It dismantles it. So I spent a lot of time there. So I feel like people, most of the time, if they came from a non-drummer producer or somebody with a meh groove understanding, that's the first thing. They're like, John, this just grooves so good. Like, I get that quite a bit. But for me, yeah, and then it also comes down like the vocal stacking. Like, I get very obsessive. Usually when we do sessions or if I send stuff to an artist to record, I send them like MIDI file arrangements of, like, here's like the lower stuff, here's the lower middle stuff here. And so they have a MIDI file of like each harmony section all mapped out so I can get the stacking that I need out of them. So like I try to give it to them really laid out and then go from there just trying to go as wild and over the top as I can. Cause I feel like that vocal stuff is just key for the like my dad listener, like the stuff that might tickle my dad's ear. It's going to be like the crazy vocal stuff, but he won't know it. He's like, good song. Good song.
Are you able to delegate vocal tracking to other people? How are you able to do quality control of the vocals that you're not necessarily in person for?
Well, it's super varied. Like, so some people go to other studios, they have I just have to ask and then adjust from there. So if some people just have a place they've gone to and I've heard their work and I'm like, cool, have fun. Like, I know they're in good hands. Some can record on their own and either give them a tune-up or kind of talk through the process. It's really just subjective. Like, I just kind of ask them what they need and go from there. But if they're super new, like, I help them get their stuff set up and walk through like, okay, so here's how to lip record and some hacks and things keep mind and da-da-da-da. And we might even record a little bit on Zoom. Like, I'm running the Logic while they're singing so I can give them pointers and make sure they're hitting certain stuff. But it's very subjective. They've never had like a set answer to it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer.
Yeah. It's, where you
on
at?
The artist. Yeah, but I mean, it's just amazing you're able to make that work. Like, I feel like so much of what I bring to the table as a producer is the vocal sessions when they come into my studio, and I'm able to kind of help guide them and get the best possible vocal take and find harmonies together and stuff. Like, for me, that's such an in-person thing. So I think it's phenomenal that you could do that, remotely.
Yeah, it just depends if they have the experience and they're aware enough of like what they want, how they've recorded before, they're pretty versed in that. Then it's, for me, I also like to make sure that I get out of their way sometimes. And it's like, I've heard your stuff. It's like the vocals weren't the issue. So, they'll be like, John, what harmony should I do? And it's like, sometimes I'll be like, yo, you should do a first pass and then I will help you fill gaps. So sometimes, yeah, I go full, like, here's 6 MIDI files, here's piano guides, and sometimes I'm like, here's me singing the lead vocal, and then like I'll go really in depth for some people, and then people I'm like, do your thing first, and then we'll see where we need to adjust, because I could tell you answers, but you have innate isms that are yours, and that stuff, like, I'm gonna ruin it. I'm gonna ruin you sometimes with those people who are more advanced. So I like to let them kind of go in. And then we sit down and like come up with a laundry list or a to-do list or like a MIDI list. And then they go back and clean stuff up. So especially people who are like super far. It's just.
Yeah. Love it. Well, you kind of mentioned that your artists that you work with, you're kind of meeting up with them once a week on Zoom and touching up. Like, how long does it take you to do an actual song?
If we're going to do like a single, like 4 to 6 weeks, just assuming it goes okay, like that nobody gets sick or nobody has like a work thing or stuff that comes up and everything goes as we plan it to. Usually, 1 to 2 months a song, just to take our time. And by the time then the mix is done, definitely like 6. But fast ones come together pretty quick.
And in terms of mixing and mastering, so you're basically at this point, you're only producing songs that you're doing like top to bottom producing and mixing. Are you sending out for mastering?
Yeah, so I have an editor, I have a mastering guy, a session songwriter. So she'll come in and help. Because I'm not really a songwriter, but that's why Savannah's there. is to help with that. And then as of like 3 days ago, a new co-producer. So
Wow.
because I have a lot coming up and need some more talent on the team. So got to flow with them too. So
Love it.
they'll be taking on some